missed a beat there. Okay, good enough. I hope that got us past the ad roll. Gonna put the cans on. What I've done lately, by which I mean today, is messed around massively, by which I mean a little bit, with the cables down here to see if maybe I can avoid the hissing and crackling, because I do kind of feel that is an effect of this cable going to my cans brushing up against the cable that goes to the microphone. I don't know how I sound right now. How do I sound, guys? Am I all hissing and crackling, or am I too quiet? Let's you know what? Let's change things going forward a little bit. Let's do the housekeeping before saying hi to everyone in the side chat, just so we can get the housekeeping out of the way, which goes as follows. Hey there, friendlies. Welcome to the live stream. If you are, in fact, watching us time shifted to tomorrow or next week or next year, thank you for watching. I really do love seeing your comments show up in the days and sometimes weeks afterwards. I'm glad to know that people are watching this stuff after the fact. If at any point tonight you really do love what's happening, please feel free to leave me a smiley thumb. If at any point tonight you really kind of don't like what's going on, that's okay. The frowny thumb works as well. And if you would like to take a more active role in supporting the channel, as many in the side chat here already have, and you can see them by the special little icons next to their names, I invite you to take a look, yes, I did it right again, at the join button right down there. Click on that button. It'll show you the two membership tiers I have available and what each of those tiers will get you. And now, without any further ado, on to tonight's show. I had originally decided I kind of wanted to talk about hurricane lanterns tonight, but then in Russell's Discord, as many of you know, Russell is the genius behind Raspberry Rock Off-Grid Cabin. He said that if I didn't talk about the apocalypse tonight, he would become a goose. So let's try to work those two in together somehow. As in, when the world ends, there'll be no electricity. So until the gas runs out, we will all be depending on hurricane lanterns. How's that? Or torches. Just go with me on this one, okay, guys? All right, let's see who's with us tonight on this beautiful Tuesday night. Every Tuesday night is a beautiful Tuesday night because I'm with you guys. On November 1st, which I believe is a Tuesday, I will not be with you guys because I have to go to a meet and greet at the school board. Or I'll be very late. I'm not sure what yet. I will attempt to salvage something, but I'll keep you guys in the know, in the loop. We got Rob in the internet, okay, let's start that again. We got Rob on the internet, who is a channel member. And what do I always say about channel members? My personal heroes. We got Linda from Lipstick Lodge is in the house. Nice. Destiny, also channel member, also personal hero. Thank you. You guys are helping me buy batteries for the camera and stuff like that. So, Agnes or Agnes, I can't remember if you're French or not. So either Agnes or Agnes. Is this a cooking show? All this talk about goose. I like it. There's Grace Martin in the house. How's it going, Grace? Agnes or Agnes says, hello, all you geese. I love that. I'm going to work that into conversation at some point as quickly as I can. There's Charles and Annie. Nice to see you guys. How is the weather down there? And how's the house coming? Just taking a look. May we all find beer, blazing bushcraft, and camaraderie. Yes, I am hoping. Oh, hold on. I forgot to say. As I think I've forgotten to say this a lot lately. We got beer. We got blades. We're going to talk about bushcraft. Because I'm just that much of a pro. Heading to the plant nursery. Oh, I love going to the plant nursery. That makes me sound like a boring individual, but I'm not. I just really like green things, green growing things. I don't know what Raspberry Rock is talking about electric eels. I guess, yeah, when the generators are all gone, it would probably take a lot of eels to run a house. Yeah, I understand what Destiny's saying here. Well, we spend way too much on buying plants. Yeah, we do as well. And so do Charles and Honey. Yeah, I can tell you, Russell's got a lot of ferns out where he lives. Hey, let's pour beer, right? Who's got a beer? Or who's got a beverage of some kind? Alcoholic or otherwise? What are you guys drinking? Sound off down below. Let me know. I love it. I like this comment from Destiny. I can see Russell's plant nursery with pots labeled other shift, $9.99. Hey, there's Marcus. How's it going, Marcus? Nice to see you. Oh, we got Country Boy. Trapped in the City is here. Nice to see you as well. I gotta get new glasses, man. I'm like staring through the Lord Vader's in the house. Nice to see you as well. And there's Ian. How's it going? I sound great. Good. So maybe moving all these wires was the way to go. Am I loud enough? Because I turned up the heat just a little bit on this mic, just because apparently I was way too quiet earlier. Hey, Kelly Simmons. How's it going? Nice to see you. Hey, look at that. There's the man on the street. Up. He shortened his pew time to be here. So let's try to make it. Well, maybe that's going to change the whiskey I was going to drink. I don't know, Al. What do you think? Hey, Gary's in the house. I know, Jerry, but hard G, soft G. Agnes likes the sound as well. Oh no, an infected hangnail. Yikes. Ugh. That can be painful and gross all at the same beautiful time. So I hope you get that squared away real fast. Whiskey Harbor, how's it going? Nice to see you. Oh, hike with Mike. Look at all these people. Look at this. What a great group we got here tonight. There's even Sharon. Please note the icon next to Sharon's name. Personal hero. Shawnee is here too. Look at all this. Look at all this. Apparently the Canada Geese will take over in an apocalypse. They take over kind of ahead of time too, so. Yeah, Al is here, Russell. Al is here. Yeah, but Darth, man, you bounced back so well. The blue's not in the frame? Oh, it's because I moved everything. Look, hold on. There we go. All right, there we go. Now it's in frame. Hi, Joanne. How are you? How are you doing on this beautiful Tuesday night? Yeah, I'm all like, beautiful Tuesday night. It was like rainy, but not the pleasant kind of rainy today. It was just kind of gray and plush. I'm just taking a look at who's with us. Marcus is having tea. Linda is having tea. Charles and Annie's house is coming along great, but the weather is stankin' hot. Agnes is saying fermented tea. No, I think they're actually just having tea. I've got some fermented juice here. Charles is having a coffee. Bloody Mary in a few minutes. Yeah, I think the time of day is a factor there. Hey, David Evans in the house. Also, please note the icon next to David's name. Personal hero. Country Boy is trying to lose some pounds, so he's drinking Bud Light. Okay. Grace is drinking the Red Stripe. Nice choice. Destiny's having a San Pellegrino. There's a lot of San Pellegrino drunk in this house, let me tell you. Everyone's just like talking to each other. I think this is referring to me putting the blue and the green in shot. I just want to make sure, like, because you guys are all sort of talking to each other, I don't see the need to. Freezing in PA is Pennsylvania, I believe. I have that right, right? Well, when you say freezing, you mean like literally freezing, or or you're just cold? Darth is drinking coffee and getting ready to make an ice cream sundae. Wow, that sounds like a great evening. Uh, doo doo. Oops, Shawnee was not approved to buy a home for the next year. That's, you know what? It's not a great time to buy a home anyway. Hey, there's Tim. How's it going? So you're sitting there at the hospital. That epic tale is still ongoing. Let's hope for an end to that. I shall now call Russell Poo Poo Face for the rest of eternity. All right, I've caught up. Okay, so let's pour a beer. Okay, so here's what I got. This is from Microbrasserie Le Coureur des Bois. Coureur des Bois was I was going to say they were like Voyagers, but not. But I mean, most of you probably don't know who les Voyageurs were. A fur trade people. So this is from Lac Saint Jean, which is not all that local to where I am. It's probably about a 6-hour drive for me, 5 or 6 hours. Yeah, Mistassini. Yeah. This is far. Unfiltered natural beer, keep cold. So this is called Ours Noir, which is means black bear, and it's a nitro stout. And I thought that meant it was going to be a really high octane, but it's not. It's a 5%. Oh, I'm using the wrong mouse. I'm trying to take Russell's comment off screen, but I was using this mouse, which is for that that computer. Oh, my land. The computer next to this one. So let's give this nitro stout a try. Look at that beautiful dark color. It's as black as my soul. Hoola. Oh, hey guys, if this doesn't taste phenomenal, there's no order in the universe. I guess Darth is here to bring order to the universe. Look at that color. Ooh. Okay. So it's a stout. The difference between a stout and a porter is that a porter is generally sweeter, and a stout is a little more on the bitter side. Not like an IPA cloying bitterness, but it's a little more coffee-like and a little less molasses-like. Smells good. Win. Yeah, it's got like little burnt coffee happening at the back of the tongue. It's got viscosity. The mouthfeel is fabulous. I'll tell you guys something. I wish I could share that with you. I don't remember where I bought this, which is too bad because now I want to buy another one. All right, let us take a look. Yeah, so my Scotch idea for tonight had been little dancing a duet. It's a 10-year, non-peated. But if Al is still here at 10, maybe I'll do the blue. What do you think, Al? Is it a blue night? If you're hanging with me at 10 o'clock, think we can get Russell to do a little blue too? Notes of C sharp and B flat minor. All right. I feel so old. I'm like, Is that what I was doing? I do a little. I sing little songs all the time. It's awful. Oh, that's cool, Shawnee. Starting a new work at home job next week. I like it. I love it when everything starts to come together for someone. That's cool. So 32 degrees. That is freezing, right? That's the same as 32. Russell's gonna know this. 32 degrees freedom is 0 degrees Canadian, right? I'm pretty sure it is. Oh wow, really? Huh. So you're being serious about needing 15 new panels and stuff, right? I think because I was asking about this when I was there, which video coming out, guys, at some point. I had plans to edit the crap out of stuff last night, and I sat down and fell immediately asleep until 2 a.m. So, um, hmm. So yeah, 15 panels. Like, do you have room on the roof for 15 new panels, or would that be like, would you have to put some kind of stand up in your on? You know, I know you don't have a lot of room in your land, so. Definitely, the Voyageurs and the Coureurs de Bois were similar-esque, but the Voyageurs were really the guys in the canoes, and the Coureurs de Bois was a little more like, I guess Americans would call them mountain men. I mean, the Voyageurs were kind of mountain men as well, but not so much. I mean, this is like the most simplified version of what I'm telling you, because I'm going to bore everyone if I do a deep dive on this. But yes, very similar, but not identical. Mm. Mm, 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 mm. Oh, I was supposed to turn it to make it to mélange to mix it. I think that's if you drink it from the there, right there. There's a coureur de bois right there. Whoops. See that guy right there? Got his snowshoes. He's got his boomstick. He's walking across a frozen lake. Strangely, there's a totem pole on the can. I'm not going to get into it because that'll get political. Everything. Yeah, it's not a milkshake stout. It's a nitro stout. I don't know what a nitro stout is. Is there anything in English on here? Descendez de votre arbre et laissez-vous tomber dans les bras réconfortants de notre onctueuse stout à l'avoine. Oh, it's an oatmeal stout. So, climb down from your tree and let yourself fall into the comforting arms of our, I don't know what onctueuse is, like rich oatmeal stout. Round and creamy. It's soft bouquet of espresso and a subtle touch of cacao, of a bitter cacao. Will cradle your senses. If this bear was dangerous, we would not. Oof, I don't know what that means. I've lost my French there. The ingredients: water, malted barley, malted oats, hops, and yeast. Yeah, there's no English on this can. Serve it at 8 degrees Celsius. That was probably boring. Sorry, guys. All right, Lord Vader, dropping the knowledge like I've come to expect him to do. I don't even know what we're going to do for Christmas. Everything is so expensive. Let's not talk about it. I guess really, yeah. That's the thing, man. It's got a nice heaviness to it. Like it feels like it's weighing down my hand. Onctueuse. I'm not sure what Jerry is talking about, but it's because I'm getting a little behind again. When the beer is thicker than a Snicker, I got to use that. Uh-oh, Al doesn't like the beer. That crap looks like a Frappo Macchiato pumpkin spice chicken pooper to me. Well, excuse me, mister. Hey there. Rob on the internet is back. I'm just taking a look. Well, the thing is, Al, I do my whiskey at 10, but like, if you're not going to be here, then I don't want to do that, right? Because that's like my Al whiskey. If you're not going to be here, I'll drink something else because it's not going to be the same. Not telling you to be here at 10. It's just let me know if you're not going to be in. I'll do this. A 10-year-old for 10 p.m. kind of thing. Or maybe this port cask finish. I don't know. Let's talk a little later and see. Yeah, Al's got to take naps Tuesdays and Fridays. So do I. This Friday, I will not be around for Books because I am going to be on stage rocking and reeling at Hurley's Irish Pub in beautiful downtown Montreal. Friday and Saturday. Hello, darkness, my old friend. That's enough of that. Yes, Russell, did you get a new generator? Somebody I saw recently, like on that weekend, got a new generator, but I don't remember who. Al, behave. Ray says they'll fit on your roof. Okay. So is that something that you're planning to do? For when the apocalypse comes, just to bring tonight's one of tonight's subjects back into the conversation. But yeah, so are you planning to upgrade that solar array of yours? Man, I would love to set up solar on my house. I've said before, it has nothing to do with saving the money because in Quebec we pay very, very little compared to everyone else. It's just I love the idea of if Hydro Quebec decides to pump their prices, I don't care. Hey, there's Carol. How's it going, Carol? Carol. Carol, by the way, please note the icon. Channel member. Personal hero. And there's Cliff. How's it going? Man, I spent so much time. I am. Everything just sort of shifted on me. Hey, Alan's here. Dennis ran long tonight. Yeah, I'm not surprised. That was a really cool subject he was talking about. I dropped a couple of comments, but I don't think he noticed. It's hard to keep an eye on the side chat when when you've got like interviewees or a panel discussion going on. But yeah, that was an interesting subject. Okay, so you don't have a new one yet. Who the hell's got a new generator than me? David. It was David. Right. Okay. Right. Good to know. Why does it keep moving? Because what I'm afraid of is missing saying hi to someone. The reason I wanted to talk about lanterns tonight. How many of you guys have a lantern near you? Russell's got one near him. I know that. Marcus was yeah, exactly. Like 6 people on the panel, and there were like a million people pounding questions. So yeah, I'm not surprised. Because I thought I might talk about panels. No, hurricane lanterns tonight because I now have two. And the brilliant thing about the two I have is that I didn't pay for either of them. People who watch my channel and are subscribed to me bought them both for me. You guys have seen this one in a video. I bought the case for it after the fact and some new wicks. But I mean, here's my Feuerhand. This is a Feuerhand 276 baby special. I think the baby special refers, this is the only one that Feuerhand makes now, but I think the baby special part of the name refers to the fact that it's a smaller, I don't remember what the tank is officially called. Or maybe it's just a smaller lantern. Maybe there's the other 276, the non-baby special, was like a full-sized one. Because this is a small lantern, right? You know, compared to a lot of the Deets and stuff that you can buy now, this is quite a small lantern. I think it's lovely. Absolutely lovely. And this was bought for me by our friend in Sweden, Mr. Tenenbaum. He sent it to me. I was floored when it arrived because he knew that I'd been looking at these, and like the shipping was just, it was destroying my dreams. So that's cool. And this, I have what's called lamp oil, but you can, you know, it's a propane, not propane, whatever, kerosene, or like, you know, liquid oil. And then I think you guys have seen that Russell bought me this one. I think I showed that off on his live stream. Now this is a Beacon. Okay, that's a Canadian brand. It no longer exists. They were closed in I think 68, 69, late 60s anyway. This is a model 30, or a number 30E. I think this is a railroad lantern, because the red globe is telling me that this is probably a railroad lantern. Railroads used several different colored globes. There was like yellow, there was clear, there was green or blue, I don't remember which, and there was red, and red would go on the back of trains. They also made these with like a bracket on them for sticking, you know, sticking to carts or buggies and stuff, right? Just sort of click it on. But these ones for the railroad didn't seem to have that. You just sort of hang it off the back of your train. And this is definitely more of what a full-size lantern is, right? So I can't, hold on. Yep. See that difference in size? Now, that difference in size is not only in the size of the globe and the overall thingamajigger chassis. It's also, hold on, pop that. Is this a swing or does it come off? Yeah, okay, it swings. Try not to break the lantern. Okay, so that swings. That wick is a lot bigger than the Feuerhand. I had wanted to bring a measuring tape or a ruler for this. Do I have? Hold on a second. Okay, I have an imperial and a metric on this Leatherman. Okay, so in inches, this is the most awkward. In inches, Sibolak. Attends 2 secondes. Hold on a second. That is the centimeters, which is not going to be useful to some of you. So I will do it in the inches. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. So 7/8 of an inch. Right, so that's essentially a 1 inch wide wick. Whereas on this tiny little guy here, that's a 1/4 inch, I believe. Wait, where is it? There we go. Right. So I think it's a 1/4 inch. Maybe it's a half, but it's a unique size. These other ones, that the larger wick size is fairly common. So, to make Russell happy, when the end times come, you're not going to want the Feuerhand because you have to order the wicks from Germany. But these will be readily usable, until the gas goes bad or whatever, and nobody's making it anymore. A lot of people have like Grandpa's old lantern and they never use it, or it sits on the mantle. But I like the light you get out of these. I do like the light. I like the old-timey magic of them. I'm wondering about just buying a clear globe for this, for normal use. But I also like the idea of using. The nice thing about red light is it doesn't blow your night vision. Like if you're doing stargazing or something, I used to have a little mag light that I used for when I was outside with my telescope, and I got a little bit of red mylar and covered the lens with the red so that I could light a star chart or whatever and not destroy my night vision. So I can see use for this one in that kind of context. Absolutely. And it would make your post-apocalypse nights look so creepy. Interesting thing about Russell saying, we got to talk about post-apocalypse tonight or I'll be a goose, is that it's the 21st, right around now is the 25th anniversary of the Fallout series of video games. Fallout 1 was 25 years ago. And Fallout 1 and 2 were like isometric, right? They were really a product of their time, isometric, top down. But the storytelling was great. For the time, the graphics were great too. And I saw many a dawn break while playing those games. Many a dawn break. And then when Fallout 3 came out, and it was so different because that was a first-person adventure, like role-playing / adventure game. I was like, I'm a little thrown by this for the first like 2 seconds, and then I was just like, and ever since, every time a Fallout game comes out, except for 76, I play it stem to stern, right to the hilt. It's a world that I love. The storytelling I love, the look, the feel. Sometimes the gameplay is a little janky, especially if the games are older or whatever. But like Fallout 3 felt like A Boy and His Dog, and I'm probably dating myself by bringing that film up, but some of you have seen it. And I've always really been into the post-apocalypse thing. Even zombies, a little less zombies. I was more into like stuff like A Boy and His Dog, or there was a British film, I think it was. I don't remember what it was called, but it was about like there were only 3 people left on Earth, and I've always really liked that kind of genre. And I sometimes like thinking about the technology that survives into a world like that. Like I don't look at the post-apocalyptic genre the way like a lot of preppers do, right? I'm not like, I don't have a bunker anywhere. I don't have a cache of weapons and goods out in the woods somewhere. I don't have a, like if the world ends, well, if the world ends, my drive to survive is tied up in whether or not my kids survive. You know what I'm saying? But like, I like stories that take place after the end of days kind of thing. I like that kind of world building if it's done properly. If it comes across right. And the Fallout series really did do it right. And so that's why when Russell said it's got to be apocalypse, I'm like, wow, that's synchronicity. Unless Russell knew that it was the 25th anniversary, and he knew that I'm into that stuff. So where is my cursor? Really, I changed the battery in this thing. Why you got to be like that? There we are. Let me just sort of. Sorry, I want to catch up. I want to make sure that I'm not missing anyone who's popping in. Okay, propane lantern. Yeah, are you talking about those ones that you pump and then you're letting those Colemans? I was just watching a video about the Coleman, whatever the Model 400, kind of a vintage one from the 80s, and their latest one was it a 688, 866. And I was watching it because I realized that, excuse me, OG subs to my channel will remember the video I did where I said I want to do, before the plague hit, I want to do an overnighter using all, not necessarily 70s vintage gear, but gear that was available in the 1970s, right? For some of this, yeah, it ends up being vintage gear, like maybe a brown label North Face backpack or something, but for some of it, like I thought I had the stove part squared away because my one burner stove is the Primus or Primus Classic, and I was sure that was around in the 70s. But on Primus's actual website, it says that their classic camp stove is the design is from the early 80s. So I've been trying to find a 70s era or a stove that has not changed its design since the 70s, without breaking the bank, right? Like I don't want something that's become a desirable collector's item. Anyway, so that's why I was watching this this video, and it reminded me of how I used to have, or my dad used to have, a lantern that operated the same way. You pump with, I think it's white gas or kerosene or some damn thing. You'd pump it up and click, get it to, have the little the weird, really fragile little bag wake in it. I don't remember what they're called. No, so I'm just riffing off of what Country Boy said here. Cliff says he doesn't have a hurricane lantern, but he have 3 little homemade oil lamps and 2 old school oil lamps. Yeah, I mean, I like having natural light, by which I mean, after dark, I'm not talking about the sun, but like firelight, lanterns, candles, stuff like that. I just love it. Yeah, Shawnee, I'm pretty sure it's a train. Jerry. It's from the red light district. Very nice. Apparently I can thank Marcus. Apparently I can thank Marcus for that one too. Oh yeah, because I think Marcus suggested it. Agnes watches a lot of American Westerns. In later years, I've started watching way more Westerns than I ever used to watch. I don't know. It's It's a genre that I've come to like a lot more than I did back in the day. I don't know why, but yeah. Just check Layman's non-electric online. Just taking note of that for later. Layman's hardware store. Oh yeah, I've seen this logo before. You're not the first person to tell me to check that place out. A few years ago, someone told me to as well. Now I've lost my. There we go. Jerry, I don't know if you're being serious or not here. Hey, Skip, how's it going? Yeah, he really is. Just give me a second here. I cleaned my desk, but I neglected to dust. All right, you guys. Okay. All right. Alain Bierhoff says that the red globe and the size is what makes it a railroad lantern. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Man on the Street has a great collection of lanterns. Almost all are Bics. Jerry. Okay. David says I should read The Last Canadian. Okay. I am taking note. Last Canadian book. Click, clickety clack. All right. Okay. I will keep track of that. I'll pick it up later. Yeah, that's possible too, Cliff. Yeah, but like, if the grid goes down, it doesn't necessarily mean that somebody's EMT'd the place or anything, you know. But yeah, I like the idea of having the red globe. Shadowy light, creepy, mysterious. Hold on one second. Band business. Alan says you can use olive oil in a hurricane lantern. It doesn't burn as bright and it eats wicks like me at a buffet restaurant. Good to know. I will not. Olive oil is also expensive right now, so not going to waste the olive oil. I don't know what Al's talking about. I don't know if he's got lanterns or just lighters. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Mm-hmm. Amen, mister. What time are we at? 21:44. Al, so are you going to hang out until after 10? What am I opening at 10? I'm right there with you, Russell. I would love a Chinese buffet right now. Cliff has switched over to his phone, so he will likely not be at marking anybody. Yeah, we're talking about lanterns and the apocalypse because, you know, I wanted to talk about one thing. Russell wanted me to talk about something else, so I'm talking about them both. Jerry is showing a couple of red lanterns there. Linda needs to get her Jenny fixed in case the other one breaks down. How often do generators break down? Is there such thing as an apocalypse lantern? Well, um, these would do well post-apocalyptically because actually, as Alain Bierhoff said, once the gas companies are no longer around, you can still be putting canola oil or olive oil or whatever into these. If you're raiding big box stores or whatever for your supplies. Because like gasoline goes bad, right? Oil goes bad. All oils go bad, but like after gasoline goes bad, is it suddenly no longer flammable? No. So I think you could probably. I'm thinking about apocalypse here, right? I'm not going to go throwing gasoline into my nice little lantern. I'm thinking apocalypse. Another thing is, you got to think about. You got to maintain your wick, right? Because there are no companies making more wicks. Agnes likes that entertainment as well. Yep. Oh, interesting. Shawnee's thinking about switching to lanterns and candles after 6 in the home. Why is that? Are you just trying to save on electricity or something? Cozy with candles. That sounds like a movie title. What's that sound again? I have no idea. Children, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going. What's Cliff saying? We need to all pull some money together to buy 1,000 acres, and we can run a Fallout scenario with a group of us, like for a solid year. I kind of like that idea. And it says, I do apocalypse that way too. We can't really know. Keep your heart. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, Country Boy has a white gas pump lantern, but I don't use it. The one I actually use screws into a 1 pound propane bottle. Okay. Elena says, get an SVEA stove. I have heard that before. In fact, I think I may have even looked that up before. Let me just make sure. Yeah. The one by Optimus. Yeah. Is that expensive? I don't remember. Yeah, it's like $150 Canadian. Is it? Is it from? Is it an Uber vintage design? It's a white gas stove, I think, isn't it? Because if that's an Uber vintage design, man, $150 is heavy though. Yeah, such a nice looking stove, and I think it is a classic. I think you're right. Um, David says David has a generator for sale in case anyone is worried the lights will go out tonight. In case everyone descend on David's place now. Jerry, are you talking about like? Is it a thumping sound? Because I can't hear anything in my house because of these, right? And it's not monitoring. So I'm not hearing myself through the mic and through these. I'm hearing myself through, through this. Mantle, yes. Oh wow, that's how far behind I am. 9:39 and I'm 10 minutes behind. Sorry guys. Shawnee, yeah, I love Townsend's too. One day when I can afford the shipping, I'm going to buy something from there. Yeah, Mantle. Right. Okay. Agnes had one of the pump lights. Yeah. There's a magic to that old stuff. I mean, I know that modern, or I guess at this point, postmodern designs are better in many ways. But I like the old stuff. I like the feeling of doing of lighting a lantern or a stove the way it was done when I was camping with my dad back in the day when I was a kid. In the same way as I've told you guys that I love the smell of all those things I don't ever want my own daughters smelling at the campsite, right? The gas of the Coleman two burner stove, the musk oil, those like mosquito coils, you know, all that kind of stuff. Um, hold on a second. Sorry, band stuff. They're like messaging back and forth. I'm sorry. Sorry about this, guys. I need like some background music to play whenever I get distracted. Okay, done. All right, sorry about that. I'm an epic pro here, evidently, obviously. 9 minutes till 10, and I still don't know which bottle I'm cracking. Destiny says she's asking for Santa for a Pioneer Princess stove and a few table oil lanterns from Layman's. What's a Pioneer Princess? Oh, I know what a Pioneer Princess stove is. Let me know if you get that. I'm just double checking that I'm not making an ass of myself. I think it's a cook stove that, yeah, yep, nice. Um, sorry, I wasn't fast enough. They're expensive though, but hold on. Oh, sorry, guys. Good to know. From now on, Canadian is Big Wick. Oh man, Darth, you're taking me back to my youth when Transformers were good. Transformers and GI Joe were on one right after the other after school, and on Saturday mornings. Hey, look who's here. How's it going, Mel? Is it Mel and Ben or just Mel? We're talking about some stuffs here. Mal, do you have any hurricane lanterns around your place? Or do you just sort of crank up the Jenny when the power goes out? Thank you for clarifying that, Russell. Oh, Linda still got her green light. Okay, good to know. And a blue light on the fridge. Everything just jumped. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I don't even. Where did everything go? Oh well. I'm just gonna go all to the bottom. Oh, here. Buy a roll of wick for every lantern you have. You know, it's funny because I bought 5 wicks for this. Like, Feuerhand sells either a roll of whatever 100 centimeters or something, or you can buy essentially the same length, but in. Oh, my sinuses are going nuts on me. Okay. You buy a packet of 5. I guess I bought the roll, but it comes in like either a 100 centimeter roll or the same thing, but cut into 5 pieces, like 5 wicks. I think the wicks, it totals the same amount of wick, if I remember correctly. Must learn to speak. And what I did was I just measured from here to here, cut there, and put it in. Oh, but you guys have seen this on my video. right? But yeah, I think I wish they would sell like a 300 centimeter roll or something, like something really big, so that I could just buy one and know I'm good for a long ass time. I'm gonna look into my options to see what size of rolls get sold for this. But now I kind of want to collect a bunch of lanterns, like old lanterns. Get an old Dietz, from before they moved production to the Far East, and just like do a massive compare and contrast video at some point, like 5 lanterns or something. I'm in no hurry to do this, but one day I think it might be nice to do. Al Chafe or Chaffee? Chafe? God, I think it's Chafe. How's it going? Welcome to the live stream. Sorry you popped in right as I lost track of how to speak, but What? 33 watching and only 22 thumbs up? What are you guys doing to me here? Glad to hear you're enjoying life, Mallory. That's good to know. I'm lost. Sorry, guys. Somebody said something and I'm looking for it, but and it just jumped right to the end. Oh, actually. Hi there, Brian. How's it going? Nice to see you. Welcome to the live stream. And I believe that you're referring to this question by Russell. But I'm glad that you're grabbing onto that question, because it means I don't have to. So Agnes is saying, I'd say keep yourself safe from drinkable water shortage. If there's a flood and the water is safe, that's a good point. So you need a way to make dirty water safe. We can't really predict. Love you all. Prepare. Well, there's a couple of things. Boiling your water is always a good method. That's not going to help clear out, like if the water has a lot of gunge in it, like it's really full of silt or anything. But okay, so you end up with purified, gritty water, right? Purifying the water, I believe, is the most important part. Or you can use filters or whatever. Rain catchment becomes a big deal, I think, because you're right. Flood comes through. Forget it. Your water system may not be safe anymore. Your sewers are backing up. Trust no water. You got to work out some kind of water catchment system. Like some people, in every survival book, they have that thing where you dig a hole in the ground, put a tin can in the middle, and get a big sheet of Mylar or something and have it dip towards the middle. And over the course of the morning or whatever, the dew or the difference in temperature between outside and inside generates moisture and drips into the can. It will take forever to get a can full of water. But at the end of the day, if you do a bunch of those around whatever property you may have, you are collecting water. I think rain catchment is probably a hell of a lot better in terms of trying to survive the end times. But oh no, Agnes just burnt the bacon. He just reminded me of, how many of you guys watch Scrambled O? Like, in how many of his episodes did he drop bacon into the fire and say, dang it? Yeah, exactly. As Alice says, save the bacon, for God's sakes. Yeah, those were the days. I just tried to watch Robotech again. I believe it's on Netflix. Just watched it for old time's sake. Yeah, good times. I'm just looking. Ah, okay. So, okay, Ben is there, but he's watching some TV. No lanterns there. I'm a candle girl. Got candle holders all over my walls and stuff. I also have many candle holders, um, but I have a couple of lanterns that have candles inside. Or are they still called lanterns, or are they just, like it's a glass shows enclosure, candle goes up inside, you light it. I think that meant once you add the glass around the flame, you get so much more light, so much, but you can read in the light you get off of something like this, or a candle with like a globe around it. Whereas like, you kind of have to have a bunch of candles to read if they're just sort of sticking, flame. But Mal, I'm glad you're doing videos again. I was worried about you and Ben, and I was not contacting you because I felt you might feel that I was just, that people are probably bugging you. But I'm glad to see you out and about again, showing up on my live streams, doing your own stuff. Hold on a second. Apparently, it's 22:01. And Al is still here, and I just saw a message pop up from Discord to say that I'm opening the blue because Al is still here. Okay. All right. Roll of wick. Hold on a second. Oh, for land's sakes, Rob. Oh, God, that's a dad joke, except it's a dirty old man dad joke. All right, since Al is still here, we're opening the blue. Okay, open the blue. It says, all right. Sorry, I'm way behind on the subject. Hey, Al, did I hear right that you want this thing back? You collect these? Did I read that right? I'm sort of that just popped in my head. I thought I saw it somewhere. Please note, I am pouring the blue label. Ooh, that's a big pour. It's okay. Nothing like a little delectable whiskey. Man, I've been drinking this beer really slowly. I'm going to pound the beer. And then, to clean the palate, little tea. Plain tea. It's an excellent palate cleanser. Like if you're doing a whiskey tasting, you've got like 7 different little drams in front of you. A little tea or some cheese, a little charcuterie board. All of that stuff helps to sort of reset your palate between whiskeys. Simple water is, you can do it in a pinch, but it's not ideal. Man, my sinuses are going nuts on me. Sorry. So, Al, have you poured yourself one as well? Alan, yes, you're right. To clean water almost completely, you do need to distill it. But like there's a thing. Maybe in post-apocalypse, you have to clean the water more because you're dealing with um, overflowing sewers and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe you're right. Al says lots of rain where I am, but if water's bad, no filter. Use a cotton shirt doubled and boil the water to make it safe. I've used that method before too. Agnes says that boiling water takes energy. I would be using a fire, like a campfire kind of thing. Rob on the internet says, I saw an interesting one the other day for cleaning water in a bushcraft way. They carved a bowl in some wood, charred it, and heated rocks to boil the water. A whole new, different take on charcoal filtering. 18 to 20 feet. What measurement? Like what width is that? Is that wick? That's Al. Wait. Speaking of Al's, are we drinking yet? Okay, you're on like year 4. Okay, so in that case, I'm not waiting. I'm just gonna give it a little sniff. Where was that? I have this real paranoia about even putting a fire ring around my fire because I'm afraid of rocks exploding from the heat. And I know that there is a certain kind of rock that will not do that, and then there's a certain kind of rock that will. But like uh, a lot of First Nations people back in history, that's the way they boiled water, right? Dropping hot ass rocks from a fire into a like a birch bark container full of water or whatever. So it's not unheard of, you know. It's not quite the same, but it's the same theory. You're absolutely right, because the wick on a candle works exactly the same way as the wick in one of these lamps, right? It's not the wick that's burning per se. It's the liquefied wax that creates, that's the version of gas. The wick burns as more and more of it gets exposed, right? The wick burning is not the one that's creating the flame in the lamp. That's just the wick burns away as more and more of the candle melts. So much to love with Mal and Ben. Great channel. Oh, at Amazon and Walmart. Okay. C sharp, B flat minor, notes of A natural. Yeah, if you've got too many passions going on at once, everything can start to suffer. I know that very, very well. I spent the last 5 years sort of trimming down on my stuff, cutting away the fat, trying to focus a little more. Just be sure to keep it. Okay. All right. Man, Foxit's been half inch, 3/4 inch, quarter inch too, because I'm pretty sure. Because if I can not order my wicks from Germany next time, that'll save me some money. Even just in terms of the shipping. In fact, the shipping was the worst part. A $20 lantern becomes a $70 purchase once you work in the shipping. Okay, feuer hand. Okay, so this is a half-inch wick. Yeah. Okay. So this is a half-inch wick. All right. Let's pop this wick out because there ain't enough of it to really feel the need to keep it in there. Whoops. Come on, Foo. Get out of there. Oh, hold on. There we go. Okay. Well, I guess I'm buying a new globe. Rats. Ugh. I'll clean that up a little later. Yeah, that's a full-on inch, that wick. So half inch and inch. Cal drag. The parts are not impossible to get, so I will buy a replacement. Really? The smell of PP juice and Johnny Walker Blue gives you itch. Okay, good to know. Lena does not have strong solar. Needs another panel. I want to get a Life for 4 battery. I don't know that. Well, you've got a tiny house, so you wouldn't be using too much. Usually river rocks. Yeah, Russell said the same thing. Granite splits and shattered when cold water hits it. Yeah, okay. The answer there would be they would be very terrifying. This is kind of what I was thinking of. Yeah, sedimentary rock is more likely to explode. Yeah. Yep, I sure did. But I'm not gonna. I mean, it's gone now, but I'll find a replacement, and it'll be red. 100% cotton cloth will wick. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Which would be useful, after the end of the world for sure. Realistically, if the shift hits the fan, our pew pews will not be useful for that for as long as we think they will, right? I mean, like even if you're a reloader, and I don't want to talk about this aspect of it for too long, but even if you're a reloader, unless you can make your own gunpowder, like when the companies stop working, nobody's making these. Nobody's making Johnny Walker. Nobody is making lanterns. Nobody's making gas. Nobody's making anything. We're back to essentially 1400s. So that's a major rethink, right? Candles you can make because it's at the end of the day, if you can get some beehives together, you can get the wax. But like when your walls are essentially rammed earth, maybe you can make some basic cement. You can make wattle and daub, right? But everything stops, and for the next 6 months to 2 years, you can still be getting stuff together by raiding your the remains of the nearest Walmart. But once that starts to disappear, and once the canned goods really disappear, you're knocked right back to medieval farming. You want to make a cement wall, you have to go and mine some clay or whatever it takes to make cement. Like you're really back to basics. Yeah, you see, that's a lot more affordable than buying my wicks from Germany is. Sure did. Yep. Yep. It's bugging me, but I'll let it bug me more after I'm not on screen anymore. Yeah, there are people with 100,000 rounds in their basement. Absolutely. Yeah. I think like it becomes useful like springs and stuff eventually go though. And when the springs and stuff start going, you better know how to make a good bow and straight arrows. You know, um, you better learn how to, nap a flint arrowhead kind of thing. Yeah, at some point, people will make things to trade. Absolutely, absolutely. Has a couple of crossbows. Agnes says, my friend's man made a magnificent stone fireplace. Some of his stones exploded in cal fires, but it was still the most intact structure. Interesting. Russell can make a bow because he watched Avatar. Good to know. Mal's got a whole bunch of stuff going on. Yeah, you've got a lot happening there. Absolutely. You know, I don't spend a lot of time thinking about the end of days. Like I'm not. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I'm not prepping the way some guys on YouTube do. I'm not doing the like on Nat Geo TV, Doomsday Preppers. I'm not going that way. I mean, I know that you got to be prepared for certain things, but I'm not wearing the tinfoil hat. I'm not waiting for the end of the world so that I can live my my glory hound fantasies. And here you go. Right, David? Will there still be live streams if an apocalypse ever happens? No. So do I want an apocalypse? No. It's in my interest to keep live streaming. It's funny how like sometimes it kind of feels like if you look back in history, right, at some of the most catastrophic times of history. I mean, like the full-on fall of the Roman Empire, like the end of it, the Black Death, and how the Black Death ended the feudal system in Europe. All these things, the people living through the beginning stages of the end of the Roman Empire had no idea that they were living in the end of something, right? Because in human lifetime scale, it's not that obvious. Stuff like that only becomes obvious when you look back at 1,000 years of history, kind of thing. So we could be living through the end, the first stage of the end, and not even know it. And the people who are like, it's the end of the world, we're like, okay, Mr. Tinfoil Hat. And they may be right. We have no idea. In 20 years, the oceans may rise and sink New York City and all the other coastal towns and knock us back a century. But right now, we don't know that that's coming. We have no idea. It's all just thought experiments to most of us. And I'm not excluding myself from that, So I'm just saying that to say that, like, haha, I'm not a prepper. And maybe those guys are right. Maybe. I don't know. All right. See you, Mal. Oh, everything just jumped again. Crumbs. Stop. It's the end of the world as we know it, and I feel fine. We play that song, and we don't like it, but the audience always does, so we just keep playing it. It's 2219. Alice Negan, just saying. I have not watched that show since season 1. I found that season 1 ended beautifully. I kind of didn't want to ruin it by watching past. I also watched only the first season of Californication for the exact same reason. It was the perfect ending. I was like, I don't feel the need to watch season 2. A friend of mine did watch season 2 of Californication. It's like, no, you didn't miss anything. Excuse me. Uh-oh, starting to yawn. It's only 10:20. Mm. Now I've got a page open with a Pioneer Princess wood cook stove on it. I got to close that page. It actually, the money aspect doesn't even count because I am not allowed to burn wood here. So it's like there's no point. But they're so nice. They're so nice. I just lost the page. There we go. What's my favorite song to play? Oh, geez. My favorite fiddle song to play is one called "Are You Ready Yet?" By I don't remember who originally did it. No, that's not even it. I don't know. I've got like a favorite fiddle song, uh, but favorite actual song, I don't know. "Drunken Lullabies" by I believe. I have two different band names stuck in my head. I think it's by Flogging Molly though. I think it's by Flogging Molly. Yeah, it is. That's a lot of fun to play. It's got a really kicking bass line. It's not overly complicated, but it really moves. Yeah, it's a wood burning kitchen stove. Or rather, they have a wood burning kitchen stove. I'm not sure if that's all they make. I believe they were called ranges. Charles says, Charles said, check my. Hold on, guys. I'm looking at my phone again. Sorry. Um, but I just got a message from someone in the side chat to check my tip jar. I believe that is PayPal. I think. Did I set that up right? Buy a Bic. Are there actually lanterns that made by Bic? Thank you, by the way. Like, is there something that I should be looking up online? I thought you were kidding. Bic lantern? Is this something that I'm going to have to show on screen because it's okay? Bic lighters. Oh, there are Bic lanterns. But is that the same Bic company? Oh, that's discontinued. Lanterns. Light the way with our. No, these are Coleman. Do you have a link to the exact kind of lantern you're talking about? Oh, I'm at the world famous site. That's not going to help me. I will. I will locate one of these. um, Love that Pioneer Princess stove can heat the whole house. Heat water, yep. Oh, with a tank attachment. I didn't even know about that. All I knew about was the cook stove. I mean, and obviously heating your house. Pioneer Princess versus Blaze King. I've never even heard of the Blaze King. But I saw big lanterns here. Why you gotta be like that, man? I will use that money to buy a new globe for the lantern that I just broke the globe on. Shift. Thanks, mister. I wonder if Russell poured himself a blue so that he could drink with us on such a blue evening. We're all old farts up in here. All of us. Hey, how many thumbs ups do I have? Do I even check? Must I check? I only use this computer for either gaming or like the Tuesday night live streams. So every time I turn it on, like there are all these tabs in my browser of stuff that we'd spoken about the previous week. And sometimes I'm like, what we talked about? Yada? Really? 22 watching, 28 thumbs ups. Okay. We were at 33 people watching at the peak of it, I do believe. Hey, look who is here. Look who's here. Oh, rough night. Okay. David, send me that link. I will buy it right now. Well, I'll buy it as soon as we're done here because I'm feeling really shifty about it. So, hi, Jim, by the way. Sorry it was a rough night. He's probably using the Rocky Raccoon hat or glass or whatever that was, the moose glass. The hollowed out cucumber. I love it. Stop giving Russell ideas, Al. Green and cucumbery. Are you saying that I'm using the wrong glass, Al? Rob? I finished my blue. I have a half hour left, so should I pour another small dram? I'll pour another small dram. I don't want to drink too much of the blue all in one go, though. I want to keep it around for as long as possible because I sure as hell can't replace it. Here's to Al and Russell. He's probably not drinking blue with us. Thanks, David. I'll replace that. Quickie, Frisco. Gosh darn it. Well, it's not that small. I said small, but that's actually a pretty major size dram. I wonder if that beacon, the big black one, takes the same size wick as the full size Dietz lanterns do. I was having trouble opening the lantern up. It sticks and everything. I need to do a bit of a restore on it and get it to move a little easier. I love the fact that you can buy these huge rolls of the wick, though. That's good. So I hope that next week or whenever is the next time I see you guys, what's the date going to be next week? Because as I said at the beginning of this live stream, November 1st, I have a meet and greet at the school board, so I may be late for the live stream if it even happens. But that's not next week though, right? That's like a week after. Yeah, I'm not going to drop the blue, guys. I'm not going to drop the blue. Don't worry about it. Such a shame. I have a broom down here at least, but such a shame. I forgot to say that as per my policy, as soon as the booze comes out, the blades go away. Even when I'm camping, like I'll have a whiskey and everything, or a beer or something, but I will only do it after the fire is set up and burning. I've made supper. I'm just like, it's my relaxation time. Enjoy the fire, read a book, go to bed, kind of thing. I won't have booze before the last chopping or knife work is done. I think even though I'm only having like one drink, I just think it's a good policy to keep for myself. All right. Good night, David. See you around. Man, I would love to wake up and have nothing specific to do tomorrow. I would get so much more done than I do. I think I was going to say something and it's gone. It's so and it went away. I think to sort of go back to that thing I said about how more modern methods of lighting or fire lighting or whatever may make more sense in an efficacy way. Stuff like this doesn't have the same warmth as a little flame does, and that's why I like the old ways. It has nothing to do with the efficacy of one of these over an LED lantern. I mean, let's face it. If you're just looking for efficiency, that's the word I was looking for. But in French, we say efficace. If you're just looking for efficiency, there's no reason to go for one of these over just an LED lantern. But in terms of the quality of the light, the magic of the old school, time honored system of having a flame behind a glass lens, the organic nature of that light, the way it flickers, the warm glow of it, that's what I'm looking for in something like this. That's what I want when I'm sitting in the forest or out on on the on my terrace out in the back, the whatever a terrace is in English, patio. The flickering light of something like this or of a candle makes me want to have like a book and a blanket on and a hot cup of tea, or maybe one of these. It's as close as I can come to having a fireplace. The comfort of a fireplace or even of a wood burning stove is leagues beyond what you would get from this. But here I catch the time-honored quality of light that you get from fire. That doesn't exist in this 160 LED light I have up here, or an LED lantern, an LED camping lantern, or any of that stuff. It's not about efficiency. It's not about ease of use, because click and your LED is on. It's about the intangible aspects of the quality of the light. It's about the way it makes you feel. In a very similar way, not quite the same way, but in a very similar way, I can't stand overhead lighting. I'm all about having lamps in the corners. The missus does not agree with me on this, but I would way rather have a lamp standing in the corner with a kind of an off-white shade or something on it. I'm into warmth of light. To me, light is not only about seeing; it's about the feeling you get in that corner or in that room. Yeah, I like it. Agnes is a marriage person, which I didn't either. Let me tell you. Now, okay, can we move on? What really is this what we're gonna do? Is this what we're gonna do? We're just gonna keep talking about the globe? You guys are savages. I'm sitting here. I'm opening up to you guys about my quality of light, the light that comes from my soul, and it matches the light you get from these. And you guys are just making fun of me. Just kidding. I don't really feel. Ever. This little tiny chunk of wick came from my lantern. I think it came out in that video I made about changing your wicks. I'm going to char this. There's no reason to let this go to waste just because it's too short to use in my lantern. I'm just going to char that. I'll use it as char cloth. You know what I'm saying? By the way, yes, too soon. Way too soon. We're at 10:37. How come Russell didn't come on tonight? What's up with that? He says he's taking the night off. I mean, he doesn't have to come on, but, taking the night off. Give me a break. I'm just being a brat. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't love artificial light at all, but if it could be something more on the warm side than the sort of the bright clinical, sunlight, not sunlight, but like, that neutral light that's just like white and cold, and it's phenomenal for photography. But I find that it's lousy for quality of just sitting there and trying to get work done. It feels like you're in a lab or something. And I only want that feeling if I'm in a lab or something. So Darth Vader's planning to marry Melinda Gates or Gisele Bundchen. I think Gisele. Is she still with a footballer, or is that over now? Such a drag that I broke that globe. Do 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 boom do boom. I was going to look up Gisele Bundchen, but I'm not. Whatever. I mean, if we're sort of swinging for the outfield, then I'll marry. I don't know. Mila Kunis. I don't know. Agnes has had actual reactions to overhead lights in the 70s. Twice in the same class in 7th and 8th grade. Total migraines. There might be something in the... thing is, with those fluorescent lights, there's a flicker to them. And maybe there's something in the flicker that your eyes were not agreeing with or something. But dwelling is what I do. Okay, it's like the smallest little thing can just put me over the edge for days. If I say hi and you don't say hi back, I'm like, why does he hate me? I'm just being a brat. I don't even know what I'm saying. All right, good night, Charles and Annie. I hope you have a good rest of your week as well. I'm hoping the best for you, and I'm looking forward to hearing more about how far you've come on the build. But I mean, you're down to landscaping now, I think, and your front gate or something, your fence. So everyone say good night to Charles and Annie. Okay. Here's a question. You guys may have noticed that I ask a lot of film related questions because I did go to film school, and film is a big thing for me. Which is weird because I haven't seen a lot of movies lately because kids and all. But what's your favorite post-apocalypse movie or show? Right? Because I mean, there's a lot of post-apocalypse stuff on TV these days, right? There's The Walking Dead and all that stuff. But what's like? Is there a post-apocalypse movie that really stands out to you, or like a after-school special or something? I remember when The Day After came out. I believe it was a mini series. It was about nuclear Armageddon, and we watched it at school because I'm Gen X. So, I grew up right up until the wall fell, secure in the knowledge that we were literally going to die in a nuclear conflagration. All my friends did too. I mean, we were too young for hiding under the desks, but we were not too young for nuclear movies and what to do in case of in school. Um, but yeah, like the day after, in many ways, was absolutely terrifying. Yeah. Agnes likes my content tonight. Thank you, because I kind of feel like I'm doing it by the seat of my pants here, which might be the way to do it, right? Waterworld. Okay, yeah. You know what's cool about Waterworld? They had to build that set twice because at one point the entire set sank. So that movie was a lot more expensive than they thought it was going to be. The Day After, yeah, there's one vote for The Day After. Absolutely. Oh, 2 votes for Waterworld. Russell says that The Day After scared the poop out of him. Absolutely. The original Red Dawn. That's the end of the world in a specific context, though. Like that's not a full on Armageddon, but um, I've only ever seen the original, but yeah, definitely. And here is Russell Red Dawn the remake. Again, that's the end of the world in a I guess a political context rather than a literal one. I don't know, maybe. Yeah. Don't watch The Road, but I've heard that it's terrific though. Hey Dennis, how's it going? I only watched part of your show. I dropped a couple of questions in the side chat, and then I had to get out for obvious reasons. But good show tonight. I'll watch the rest of it on the replay. Yeah, but I think that the end of the world aspect of that would be, proud Americans having to deal with a Russian invader would feel like the end of the world. I think that's why that's coming up. Although, let's face it, these days the Russians can invade whoever they want, and they would probably not be as scary as they were back in the Cold War days. Dawn of the Dead, 2004 version. Okay, so we're going into a more of a zombie-esque, zombie apocalypse direction. Everyone's saying hi to Darth. Okay, legit, absolutely. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I get what you were where you were going with that. Yeah. Wait, Shawnee says that she doesn't really watch movies. Oh, Don't Look Up. Yeah, I saw that. I thought it was a terrific film. Some people found that movie to be really kind of preachy and everything. But the people I know who found that movie to be really preachy and everything are exactly the type of people who in that film do not come off so great. So, you know, the family show that featured Linda Blair hiding vodka in her thermos. I don't know what that show was. I don't know that. I don't know what that was. Yeah, The Road, absolutely. But I heard it was terrific. But yeah, hard to watch. I really liked A Boy and His Dog, and that might it might not be as good, or Omega Man, right? These films, but I wonder if I like A Boy and His Dog sticks out to me so much because it was kind of the first of those movies that I ever really that registered for me. You know, let me check something. I'm wondering if that other movie that I'm trying to think about was The Last Man, because The Last Man I think was a book, but by like Mary Shelley or something. Hold on, I don't know. I don't think I don't think it was. But like it was all about like no, it wasn't The Last Man. What was that film called? It was like there were three people left in the world, and I just don't remember what it was called. Kingdom of Spiders. I've never even heard of that. The Stand. Okay, legit choice. Um, I'm trying to find my cursor again. It's gonna bug me that I don't remember what that movie I saw like a long time ago. It was like there was one guy and a girl and like another guy. Like they met another guy and then she ended up falling for the other guy. I just wish I could remember what it was called because I saw it a long time ago. I don't know what it was called. And like I told you guys that I was reading that this book. It's in the bedroom. After Us, I think it's called. Um, what the world would be like if we just suddenly disappeared. Like no apocalypse, no dystopian future. Just people went right. And how long, say, would New York remain standing? Not long, because the subway system would fill with water in like 48 hours, kind of thing. And it's not an empty glass. There's still some juice in there. Check it out. Where the hell did my page go? There it is. Quiet Earth. Russell, you're a freaking genius. Damn it, Russell, you're a genius. That's exactly what I was thinking of. And I don't know if I got the details right, and I'm gonna have to watch it again to make sure. Hold on. Uh, I don't know about that, Al. I think you have to sort of use your judgment in that case. I don't remember enough about it, Cliff, but that sounds like the kind of thing that would happen in that movie. I believe that Fraggle Rock is being re rebooted. Oh, Planet of the Apes. Okay. Yeah, the Deer Hunter wasn't really a an apocalypse movie, was it? I mean, it was. I mean, if we stretch maybe personally, it was. It's the Quiet Earth. Absolutely. Rob, you're talking about the yeah. There was a series made based on the book that I'm reading. It's called After Us. I think that's what it was called. But a couple of glasses of whiskey. I think that's what it was called. Um, Jim, what's wrong? I, what's wrong, Jim? Are you okay? Jim has been having a rough. He had a rough day at work, so I'm concerned for him. I'm gonna have because we have just about 10 minutes left. I'm gonna pour a 10-year old because I don't want to pour another blue because I really don't want to charge through that bottle too quickly. Which is funny because this is an irreplaceable bottle, but it was half the price. So, um, see, now I got to watch The Quiet Earth again because I don't. I just remember snippets of it. Destiny prefers movies that are cozy cabin in the woods based. Hugo mood, wellness and contentment overtaking the end of the world psyche, ambient lighting included. Fair enough. I like that kind of life. Jim, I totally missed that. Now I feel stupid. Yeah. Damn you all to hell. I totally blew that. I am sorry for missing that. And it's funny because if I hadn't had a couple of whiskeys and a beer, I would have totally picked up on that. What's the other one with that? What's that? Get your hands off me, you goddamn dirty ape. Did I get that right? That tastes completely different to that. I mean, this is a single malt, right? And in fact, it's a single barrel. Yeah, I remember the scene now. Absolutely. Yeah. And okay, so let's put that out there. Planet of the Apes, original or remake? I almost always come down on the side of the original for those kinds of things, even though the remakes are almost always technically better movies, better flash, better effects, better looks, a better, sometimes way better dialogue. Sometimes not though. But there's a magic to classic movies, like a charm, a period charm that's not there when they remake them. But yeah, and like The original Planet of the Apes left me with a much bleaker feeling than the remake did. Because they didn't have as much technology backing them up. They really had to make up for that in um, shot composition, in the writing, in the music, in the like. They had way fewer tricks to fall back on, and so I find that like some of those original movies, the bleakness is so much more palpable. And this is the same of is it Omega Man, um, where he's like the last human on Earth, and everyone else has sort of become this kind of weird. Hold on, let me look it up. Man, I just the Omega Man is a 1971 post-apocalyptic. Yeah, the Omega Man, right? That's Charlton Heston as well, by the way. Um, it's just left you with this bleak feeling. Just masterful in that way, because they didn't have the kind of visual mojo to bring. They couldn't like boom. I mean, look at the monkeys in Planet of the Apes, like the remake. Way better, but the effect wasn't the same. You know. I'm not sure if I like where this is going. Agnes is saying that to base the fat on. Can you render human fat like a cow and pig to cook with it? I mean, you probably original. Yeah, I think so too. Al. I'm with you on that one. Quality acting, absolutely. I mean, look, I'm not saying I don't think that all actors were better than current actors are, but you had to depend on good line delivery, good acting, good, and yet a lot of that acting wouldn't pass muster these days because it was still very theatrical, very theater oriented acting. The skills were still very like sometimes you could almost see the ghost of a proscenium arch. This is very true of the original Star Trek series, right? They were acting, that was very much stage acting in many, many cases. But still, you know. Destiny says, my alcohol always has such a rich color. Ours is cheap, so it looks like this. Yeah, there's a magic to practical effects. Even if they don't look as gosh wow. There's a magic there. There's a tactility to them almost, you know? I like the Simpsons version of the Planet of the Apes musical. That's the one with "I hate every ape I see from chimpan A to chimpanzee." Yeah, yeah, the bleakness, the bleak feeling. Yeah. Well, sometimes yes, sometimes no. Like the original, the Jurassic Park is always going to stand out to me as a signpost, as an ensign flapping in the wind of what CGI should be to a movie. You know. And like I'm saying that as a guy who lives in the town where discrete logic and soft image were right, and those softwares made that movie. So I mean, there's a certain amount of local pride and blah, blah. But I mean, the fact is that movie was where CGI was the pinnacle for me. And it's funny because around the same time, Square Enix put out a film, Final Fantasy. And if that film had come out 10 years later, that studio would not have gone bust because it was terrific, absolutely terrific. The for the time the animation was spotless. It was magical, Um, and because the script writing did not suffer for it. But in terms of like the gosh wow and the spectacular. Okay, perfect example of what I'm trying to say, but I'm saying it badly, is the first Avatar movie. I walked into that theater, I sat down, and I walked out, was it 2 hours plus later, loving that movie. And it took 3 days, 4 days, or like a weekend for me to realize I didn't love that movie. I was blown away by the flash of that movie because it was gorgeous. But it wasn't a great movie. And I had prided myself on not being the type to fall for that kind of stuff, on not being just a passive moviegoer, because I had a film degree. And so I was supposed to be better than that. And I wasn't, because that film was that spectacular. And it took me a few days to realize that I walked out of the thinking, oh my God, I love that. But there was like a niggling little something at the back of my head. And it took a couple of days for me to realize what that was. You know? Um, oh, okay. Good night, Destiny. Have a good sleep. Yeah, they used to really blow stuff up. Now it's all CGI. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I still think, like when you look at the original cut of Star Wars, you can see how thrown together some of those effects were, but I still love it. I still love, warts and all, the original cut of Star Wars. No special editions, no like remastered, no Greedo shoots first, none of that crap. The original cut of Star Wars, lightning in a bottle. Absolutely. Absolutely. Even with like the weird like shapes you can see around TIE fighters when they were masking them in 70s technology. Who cares? Who cares? Loved it. Well, Agnes, in all fairness, like an apocalypse is pretty macabre. You know, I think it's hard not to be a little macabre when you're talking about the apocalypse. I think the original three were the best as well. But having watched all of the Mandalorian up until now, I don't know. I think there might be another series, another season. There might not be. I don't know. Um, and I've started and all of Obi-Wan Kenobi series, and I've started watching Andor. There's some really good Star Wars happening. Really, really good. It's all happening on smaller screens. I wanted to love the Book of Boba Fett, but I really don't think it was as good as Mandalorian. Definitely not as good as Obi-Wan Kenobi. And I've seen one or two episodes of Andor, but I can tell that unless they really blow it, it's going to be some terrific freaking Star Wars. I almost blew it there. Oh, Alan, Alan, I've been calling you Alain all night. Sorry, Alan. The thing is, when the original three Star Wars were written, um, Lucas knew Campbell, right? Who was all about find your bliss, you know, who was all about the power of myth. He was I'm trying to think of the I'm trying to think of Campbell's first name. Um, Hold on a second. I'm looking this up because you know what? I'm gonna look up Campbell and Lucas. course, there's somebody called Campbell Lucas. Crumbs. The thing is, I knew this. I knew these names. But George Lucas met this dude Campbell, whose name completely escapes me, and Campbell wrote like the book on the epic journey. Joseph Campbell. Joseph Campbell. Okay, he's dead now, but he was all the power of myth. The power of myth. Okay, and he went into the archetypes. Okay, and Luke Skywalker is pulled directly from the power of myth, sort of what the power of myth talked about. You know, the young ordinary kid who isn't an ordinary kid and goes through this massive journey to discover himself and to beat a great evil. This same story is told throughout history. And George Lucas met Joseph Campbell. He'd already written his movies, but he had been into Campbell's work for a long time. And a lot of things came together in those original three movies that kind of disappear after that. Because, Lucas talked about envisioning 9 movies, whatever. BS. But those original 3 films were written at a time when Lucas was steeped in this stuff. He didn't write all those movies, all 3 of the movies, but he was in charge of them. And he was steeped in what Joseph Campbell was talking about the power of myth, and he brought that to those movies. And then when he got around to the prequels, he was really George Lucas by that point, and he wasn't bringing quite the same studious element to them as he had in the previous 3. Yeah. As Alan says, it was all about the Benjamins. I think that maybe there's an element of that. I don't think it's completely that, but there isn't definitely an element of that there. Hey, we're at 11:07. Tell you what, we'll go to 11:15. All right, we'll go to 11:15. I've still got whiskey in my glass, and there's still broken glass all around my feet. God damn it! Gonna fix that with money. Tabernacle. Okay. The word I just used is the worst French Canadian, the worst Quebecois swear word you can use. So I will say, excuse me. Sorry about that. Piece on a biscuit. I have said that on many an occasion. I think you're probably quoting me back to myself, eh? But I think that there's a different level of filmmaking when you're coming at it from something like the power of myth than when you're just sort of that kind of thing affects a lot of filmmaking in Hollywood because everyone's dealing with archetypes. Everyone's doing the same 3-act structure, right? Everyone's pulling the same story out of the ether and throwing it, down. But when you actively reference a work like The Power of Myth, you can make it richer. And look, Star Wars, I think it was a seminal movie for me. Russell's going to hate that. But it really was. It was a signpost in my childhood. It was a big event. It's not spectacularly written. It's not. in no way could I say it was a spectacularly written movie. Neither was The Empire Strikes Back. Neither was Return of the Jedi. The Empire Strikes Back is probably the best of the three. But there's a depth to the storytelling. So the dialogue's not terrific, but which is what I should have said. I shouldn't have said that the writing is not terrific. I should have said that the dialogue is not terrific. But there's a depth to the story itself that is more fundamental than if Lucas was just pulling from the usual Hollywood sort of, you know, filing cabinet of tropes. Anyway, I mean, I'm getting really boring, but there's only 4 minutes left. But apparently Agnes knows exactly who I'm talking about. I like it. I think he's talking about The Empire Strikes Back too. To me, because I was 7 years old, sitting in the theater and didn't know what was happening, and had my ears pinned to the ground by the first Star Wars movie, that's always going to be my number one. But I have to acknowledge that The Empire Strikes Back is absolutely a better movie. It's just, you will never get back that feeling of sitting there in the theater, not knowing what's coming. The music, the title, the opening scroll, and then ship, big honking ship, explosions. And then the first sight of stormtroopers coming through that hole in the wall and just laying waste to those poor rebels. To a kid like me who had never seen something like that before, the movies I'd seen to that point were like Snow White, you know, stuff like that. That first scene, you'll never capture that feeling again in your entire life. It's the same thing as I was saying earlier about playing Fallout 3. I watched a 25th anniversary video of the Fallout series today, and part of it was there was one of the original producers of Fallout 1 and 2, which were done by a company called Obsidian, if I remember correctly, and then Bethesda bought the license and made Fallout 3. And moving from that isometric to the, at that point, glorious look and feel of Fallout 3, like that first minute of the game, the first minute of the game, and it's like, this is Fallout now. Like, I will never get that feeling back. I could go back and replay that game again, and I'll just see it as like a historical document, right? It's like, oh, okay, graphics are better now and everything, but you don't get that first time you see the first 30 seconds of Star Wars again, or 2 minutes. Let's say 2 minutes. You don't get the feeling of playing Fallout 3 for the first time, or Fallout 1 for the first time again. The excitement you get when you enter unknown, and that mind blowing, for a 7-year-old, Star Wars was mind blowing. You know, you never get those feelings back. You can watch them again, but you've seen them before, and you can never unsee them before. Those are powerful moments. Hold on a second. Alan? I could see that. I mean, at the end of the day, it's all archetypes, right? I mean, you can pull archetypes from different movies and throw them together. And everyone in Star Wars is one of these power of myth archetypes. Absolutely. To me, it's a documentary. I love it. Yes, he freaking did. Absolutely. It's 11:15. Okay. So I'm going to clean up the floor, and then I'm going to go to bed, and then I'm going to get up, and then I'm going to go to work. So Even though there are 20 of you still here listening to me go that. Thank you for that. That's actually pretty astute, Alan. I'm gonna shut her down here. So between now and next week, yeah, or to do it like in the old radio plays, right? Come back next week when Jesse says, "Hey there, friendlies." So between now and the next time I see you, please, everybody, please be healthy, stay sane. What do I usually say? Stay sane, stay healthy, stay something, and be kind to one another. What the hell do I say, guys? Stay healthy, stay safe, stay sane, and be kind to one another. I knew I could get it if I just sort of kept on trying. So good night, all.